I am going live on YouTube this time just for funsies. And I don't usually do this as a YouTube thing, although I do want to do that more. So bear with me as I kind of play with the tech. You know how that goes. Sometimes you get it just right. There's my hand. I'm figuring out the knobs on here to keep everything tight. There it is. Okay. Okay, here I am. So I don't know if anybody can see me. I hope so. I'm going to look and see if it's showing up on my YouTube and if I can activate. Oh, good. Let's see if I can see comments. Hang on, let me open it up and see. I want to turn this off. Okay, great. All right, let's see. I think you actually have to skip ads on there too because I am monetized and all that stuff. And I want to see comments. Let's see what happens. All right, so I'm going to jump on here. I got a little show and tell. I'm going to tell you some stuff. I'm going to remember to look at my camera instead of randomly all over the place. I'm in my little home studio. So there is my unmade bed. There's the door to the outside. So there we go. And I do see that somebody popped on. So howdy from Avonda. Hi. So it does look like I can see people. Thank you. I'm glad. Well, I just thought I do a lot of lives on Facebook. And I want to try to, really build up my YouTube interaction as well. I just want to make sure I'm in different places because with the streaming and stuff these days, and you never know when one is going to be really strong and another one has whatever. So I'm trying to be versatile and all that. But I thought what I would do today. Hi, Pat from North Carolina. So we got Texas and North Carolina. Falling in, which I love, and I grew up in North Carolina, so yay, I like that. I grew up in Cary. Anyway, I just wanted to do like a little bit of show and tell and just interact with you guys. So for those of you who are fairly new to my channel, I'm going to mention right now, if you get a chance, hit that subscribe button so that whenever I put up new stuff, you are know about it, and there's like buttons, and you can comment. All of those things are really helpful. If you're so inclined, there is, I think, somewhere along the way, like a little heart or whatever. You can chip in $1 or $2 and buy me a coffee, the usual crap. But otherwise, just, subscribe and watch some of my other stuff and all that if you feel like it. All right, so show and tell. First thing I'm going to do is, for those of you who maybe don't know me too well, I'm an artist, and I really want to share not just how to make things, but how I like to make things so that I'm enjoying my own creativity and you're kind of looking over my shoulder and maybe enjoying that with me, which I think is fun. And I'm going to just see. I'm not sure if... Okay, I'm not seeing any comments showing up online, so they just pop up on my phone, which is just fine. So I will do my best to comment on you guys, and then if I miss you, please just, oh wait, moderation helps everybody say, there we are, there it is. Oh yay, I see it now. Takes me a while. Okay, I'm seeing my the comments back and forth, and Katie is there. Hello, Katie. Good to see you, my friend. So anyway, I like living a creative life. I like making things. I like to have you look over my shoulder and I can show you what I make and why. I've done a lot of teaching. I feel like where I'm moving is more of making and letting people enjoy my process, as well as, giving you tidbits and things like that. But one of the things I wanted to talk about today was something that I find very joyful, is that as I meander through life, I'm always kind of paying attention to just shapes and colors and nature, and I'm always on the lookout for interesting things, and I tend to be, as many of us are, a little bit of a pack rat, magpie, whatever, dragon, whatever animal you want to connect with, that like finds these little treasures and keeps them. So I have a few treasures I put down there and in my little area in front of me to show you, just as something kind of fun. This one, I don't even know where I found it all along the way, and I'll try to make sure that this can focus. This is just, and you can tell how translucent it is, this is just a little jade bowl. And I love it. It's sitting on the little shelf. I have a workspace here. Everything's in my little room. I live in Maui. And I have a little space, so I'm sleeping, and then I roll over to my computer, and then I slide over to my workspace, and it's all very self-contained, which is great. But I try to surround myself, as you can kind of see a little bit behind me, of all the things I use to create, as well as things like this that inspire me. And I've kept this one for a while because there's a couple things I really love about it. One is it's got, because it's a rock and there's just different things about the rock itself, there's like a little circular part of the rock itself, so that as I look at it through the light, it's got nuance that I don't see as easily when it's just down in the dark, but then you hold it up to the light and something different appears, which I feel is kind of like, a nice little philosophical remembrance about how life works. And normally what I've got in that bowl are these tiny little, I got to move my hand so that you're not seeing my face too much, these tiny little Nautilus shells. I got a guy in the Philippines that he's got a family business and I get things from him fairly frequently to add to my online shop, and my online shop is just christyfriesen.com. You can find all the stuff you need about me over there, things that I sell and workshops and whatever else I got going on. But I love those because he's polished them and done little carving to accentuate the natural lines of the shell, and it's just, they're shiny and they're lovely, and it's just a nice little amusement, but they look really great, which you can't really see too well, but they're in this bowl. It looks really great in the bowl. Another shell that I got from him, and I'm in an oceany place, so shells kind of figure prominently. This is called a Cebu, C-I-B-U. I'm probably saying it wrong. Cebu. But look at the purple inside that shell. Isn't that just delightful? I keep this one around too because it is a really soft purple that a lot of times when I'm searching for the right color, and if I'm thinking purple, I double check back with that shell because it gives me a nice little color remembrance and a kind of a place to lock into. I see Lisa popped in. Hi Lisa, good to catch you live. I'm glad you're catching me live also, because I'm a hi Sue, hi, and hello to Hannah. I know she's there somewhere. Hi to you. I am not done too many of these Facebook Lives. I will get better at it. I've got some software, that would allow me to integrate it with slideshows and whatever. Who knows? I may even get good someday. Hi, Valerie. But we'll see. So anyway, that's part of my shell collection. Now this little, and there's no real reason why I'm showing you my shells. It just happens to be what's in front of me right now, and I'm excited about it. Could you look at this little teeny tiny shell? Oh my God, look at how tiny that is. Let's see if I can get it and focus. It's hard because I can't see what I'm doing, so I can't see if, there we go. It is the tiniest little conch shell, and it's got 2 barnacles on it. Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine what that was like to be that tiny baby shell and be trudging along with these stupid barnacles, eating things and making you go in all different directions. It's just, it's such a beautiful little thing, but I imagine it probably wasn't too fun to be that shell. Hello Valerie, hi Terry, nice to see you both here. One last little shell or ocean related thing, and this I actually got in the Pacific Northwest on one of the little islands there, San Juan Islands. I love this, and somebody might have even found it and given it to me, but it's just a stone, and it's got a little Saturn-like ring of barnacles around it, and there used to be them all the way around like Saturn, and I don't know if when it was found they were gone or if they've slowly wandered off, because maybe barnacles live another life after they come out of the sea and they transport to an alternative universe. We don't know. Science has not studied that thoroughly. But anyway, I like it, and I think what I love about it is just that contrast. And the reason I'm bringing these to your attention is, like, when we were kids, we knew the value when we went to school of show and tell, which, do they do that anymore? I don't know. But when we were kids, us old folks, having show and tell was something pretty exciting for many of us. Now, I imagine if you were not very comfortable speaking in public or being looked at, it may have been an absolute terror. But for me, being a bit of a look at me kind of person, I know, hard to believe, huh? Being able to bring something to show and tell was really cool, because I had these neat things, and to be able to show somebody an interesting crystal or whatever the heck I had in those days, that is still this joy that I still have. I've got all in my world. There's just little things everywhere. There's a log I got in Ireland over there, and shells from the ocean out there. There's just stuff all over the place, and it's really, really nice still for me to have these and for me to share them. Terry says, what the heck? It says aloha on YouTube. I know, right? You see my aloha? That's because I am not on selfie mode. So everything is right reading, which is crazy, right? So yeah, enjoy it while you can. Terry says, "Oh gosh, yes, I loved my perceived treasures at Show and Tell." Buddy says, "Hi, I loved the popcorn pearls in one of your tutorials. I've never seen them before or since." Oh yeah, I think those might have been the cornflake ones. That's what I call them, but popcorn works absolutely perfectly too. Yeah, you know, those kinds of things, that sort of show and tell. I have traveled a lot in my life. So whether it be within the U.S. to different kind of bead shows and exhibitions and workshops, or just overseas, you know, so I've come into contact with a bunch of stuff like those fabulous pearls. And when I find stuff like that, I want them and I want to keep them and I want to share them. But sometimes if I don't have enough, it's hard to share. So at least I can share in this way, which is kind of fun. And the reason why it's so exciting, besides just that leftover show and tellness, is all of these things are fuel for your creative gears and the machinations of your imagination. So having all of these little images in there are helpful. Like the idea of this little shell dragging along these big barnacles, that idea is in there. At some point, I'll do something where this little thing is struggling with this big hitchhiker or whatever, and that will become an idea. Maybe, or some kind of alien / barnacle, who even knows. But you just never know what's going to spur an idea. Terry says, do you plan to find do you plan to find newfound treasures on every trip, or is it more organic? Yes. It's both, Terry. My pre-COVID life was a lot of travel. I was probably gone 3/4 of the year for multiple years. And I was in very much of a gathering state of mind, that I was actively looking for any kind of treasure for my own work, as well as to sell or incorporate into workshops or whatever. So my antenna and radar was just scanning all the time for everything. But I think that has been a setting ever since I was a kid. And so it never goes away. So that even though now I'm not actively going to places, I have this constantly. Like, I'm always looking at the beach to see if there's something fun. If I go to a thrift shop, I'm looking at weird stuff. Like, what is that? How could that? What, that wood is neat. I wonder if I could use that wood. You know, I'm constantly doing this, and it's just because the nature of my creativity incorporates lots of different things. I don't primarily just work in one medium. I work in medium that gather to it many things, because I do work with polymer and epoxy clay, both of which allow me to incorporate things. So needing stuff, useful, interesting, clever stuff is an ever-present thing. So yes, I have, Terry, planned trips so that I would be in contact with weird stuff. But anytime I saw something potentially cool, it's like, stop, pull over, let's go see what that is. And it's been an interesting way to live, and I enjoy it. All right, so what do you do with stuff like that? I brought a little bit more show and tell for you. So this is something that's in progress. So this is just some little glass jar I picked up whoever knows where. And I started off by having a bunch of these. So these aren't the cornflake / popcorn pearls, but there's some funky mabe pearls that I got somewhere along the way, and they're dyed. So they're blue and, you know, purpley blue. And I've got, you know, 5 or 6 of them. And I remember just kind of like each time I went through this pearl mix and I was finding, I'd kind of put these aside till I had that many, right? So often what happens is when I'm doing something with Epoxy Sculpt, which is my epoxy clay of choice, you can get it on my website, as well as the company who makes it, which is Aves, Aves, and you can get it from them. I'll add that into the description later on so you can have a click to. But I sell it on my site in the smaller containers, and you can get larger directly from them. But I do a lot of stuff with epoxy clay because I can take stuff like this and like these little glass balls that an artist friend of mine, Cheryl, makes. I can take these and just stick them in this paste because it's a putty that behaves similarly to clay, and then it hardens as a cement. So I can just shove stuff. So what happens is each time I make a thing and I have a little left over, I kind of stick more things in there. Super Sculptor says, howdy from an island over. Hey, Amy, how are you, my friend? You're over on Honolulu or Oahu. You may not be in Honolulu today. You may be off on the backside or somewhere fun. But hello, aloha. I know you are enjoying your island time at the day that we are talking about this because I saw some pictures on your Facebook and I know you're having fun. So gather stuff, man. Get the goodies. Sue says, stuff to share with us. Oh, I'm so glad you're enjoying it because I like sharing this stuff with you. So anyway, I got all these little pearls, and as I ended up having a bit of epoxy clay left over from whatever I was working on, I would start adding it to something like this and just shoving things in. So you can see that I've shoved in a bunch of rhinestones, like Swarovski rhinestones, and then this is 24 karat gold leaf. I use a lot of 24 karat gold leaf, and it's only this far, so I don't know what's going to happen next. The neat thing about 24 karat gold leaf, and I have here in my YouTubes, I've got some little videos on the sgraffito on gold leaf, because what I'll do now is I'll take one of my tools. Let me see if I've got it in front of me here. I do. This is my Wow It's Awesome tool. Sorry, that was a lot more face than you needed to see, right? Sorry. Luckily, I cleaned my hair this morning, so that was good. But this is a Wow It's Awesome tool, and it's got like this little claw. And so this little claw, I can actually like carve. I'm going to just do a little line here so you can kind of see, and then I'll make that into something later on. But I can just carve like directly into that gold leaf. Now it looks a little gray right there, but once I'm done, I'll put some clear glaze on top of that, and it'll soak into that scratch and deepen it a little darker. And I end up making like a little pen and ink and etching right through the surface of the gold leaf onto the clay behind. So I do that a lot. In fact, the other thing I wanted to show you, for those of you who don't know, and many of you do already, I have memberships. So that, you know, obviously there's a lot of free Christy to go around, but you know, I like to make you pay for it sometimes too. So I've got these memberships that you can join in and get extra. So my Creative Circle is a new project every month, and then I have other different groups like that, so you can go check those out. Hi, Anita. Can you sgraffito even after it's cured, says Terry. Yes, which is the joy of it. I often have little blobs of leftover epoxy clay from the project, then I'll shape it into some kind of a cabochon, like a circle or a bean or a little oval, and put the gold leaf on top. And the real gold leaf, 24 karat gold leaf, good stuff. I carry that on my site too, and you can get it other places. I have a link on my site to my Amazon influencer page, so you can click on there and find other things like that as well. But I just put it on there and let it dry, and then when I'm ready to add the line drawings, I do. Now you can scratch those while the epoxy is still wet. You can also do it on the polymer clay. But since I end up having a lot of little bits of leftover epoxy clay and I don't want to waste it, I can just put that thing on, leave them alone, and then I can come back and scratch on. So I like that. In fact, I think here on my YouTubes, I also have, I think at least one, maybe two videos that are showing some of those golden cabochons that I've made. So some of them are, like I said, some polymer, some epoxy clay, but you can check them out. Anyway, so I was talking about my memberships, which is a way that you can give me money, which I love, of course. So I keep doing this instead of having to do like real work. I can just play and share. And we do a monthly project. So this is the project for this month. And this is, I'm calling this a beautiful fragment because we're using, it's like a fragment here, and I've turned it into a vessel. So as you can see, it is the frontispiece for this polymer covered glass vessel, so it can hold water, and you can put a little sprig of leaf or flower or something in it, and it's got other components on there to make it decorative. But this flat piece here has a fun little technique for doing almost like a line drawing in which is not sgraffito. It's a different process for making a veneer with line drawing on it. We play with crackle. Here's some of that sgraffito on the gold leaf. Then I go on a watercolor using pan pastels and alcohol to create a watercolor effect. Then there's some other scratch through in gold. So there's a number of little tricks in this project. It's a great project. All those projects end up on my website in the tutorial section, so you can buy those later on, but that usually takes a couple of months for me to get around to putting them there. And honestly, it's a lot cheaper for the membership, because most of the projects that I put for sale are twice what it would have cost you to join the membership, which is 10 bucks a month. And then we have, like, every Sunday we have a live chat and we do demos and stuff. So hey, come on, join us. It's great fun. So when you go to my site, you'll see it, and you can sign up if you want. That was kind of like some of the show and tell I really wanted to show you, just because it's stuff I've got lying around, things that I'm working on, stuff that I'm inspired by, you know, and just felt like, Hey, why not share? Let's chat. So, I think that's all I wanted to tell you. And we can have fun. Join us. Exactly. Anita's one of the gang over there, as is Sue and a couple of others. I forget Valerie, and I forget who else all is here. But there's a couple of you that are indeed in the Creative Circle and other of my membership groups. And like Anita said, we will have fun. And that is the preferred spelling. There's a history to that. Which, if you're in the group, you would know. Anyway, that's it. So I wanted to jump on here. I wanted to share a little bit of FaceTime with you. I wanted to force myself to do this on YouTube a little bit more often and kind of be a little bit more versatile on my platforms that I go on. And I just wanted to thank you for being part of my community and part of the people that I connect with and get validation from and share with and all of that, which I really love. All the Christie stuff, all the time, says Anita. I agree. That is the best way, right? It keeps me, I was going to say out of trouble, but that's not exactly accurate. It keeps me happy, and hopefully that gives you guys some fun sharing too. So anyway, from me to you guys, thank you for sharing a little bit of live time with me. Thanks for sharing my show and tell, and I will see you here or elsewhere soon. Goodbye. Now, if I can turn this off.